Alright, hey everybody, it's Nick, and we are here for the EYC Open debrief. Took place this past weekend. I was sailing on the Tartan 101 Shockwave on Alpha Course, racing an IRCB. So thank you very much to Les and company for having me on board. I had a lot of fun as always. Conditions where we finally had some wind. We were about 10 to 12 on Saturday out of the east with some bump, and Sunday built up a little bit more. We had 12 to 14. Little shifty all day, let you take advantage of some shifts. I know Bravo course was tucked up under the Toronto Island a little bit more, and they were seeing some much bigger oscillations. Our course was fairly stable, especially Sunday. I think you gained top left all day, so being able to get out to that left side was hugely important. There were some righties down at the bottom which could actually help you get to that left corner, but could be deceiving. So if you were banking on that righty being up there at the top, not going to happen, and I'm sorry. So we focused on pushing the comfort zone of the crew and pushing the boat a lot harder than it's been pushed before. This team is newer to, well, they're brand new to the boat, and they're also not as experienced with this type of course racing. This actually got me into trouble a couple times because I was making assumptions about boats that I sail on all the time that are very comfortable with me, what I'm thinking, what the game plan is, and the way I like to sail. Whereas on a boat that we were less familiar with each other, they weren't necessarily on the same page as me for what the plan was. So these guys typically do more distance racing. So the type of racing we were doing, 1.2 nautical mile beats with your typical windward leeward racing. It's very different from distance racing. You've got a lot less time to think and do your maneuvers and plan. You don't have 3 minutes to plan a jibe. Sometimes we got a jibe now. So what it means, you have to speed up everything. Your thought process has to speed up. Your planning needs to speed up. You just need to rely more on instincts and what's going on, especially when it comes to boat handling. So it's a lot less forgiving that way. Giving up 30 seconds in a jibe, that's 3 places right there over a 40-minute race. Giving up 30 seconds on a 20-hour race, in the grand scheme of things, you could be going slow for an hour and not know about it, and that's going to cost you more time than a bad jibe. So things to consider, and what we really worked on was pushing the boat, and getting better. The other thing is handicap racing can make you lazy. It's really easy to fall into the trap of we're slower because our boat is slower. We're slower because they have newer sails than us. And to just sit back and rely on these things and to not keep pushing. You always have to be trimming properly, going the right direction, looking out for shifts. When you don't have that constant threat that you're under in one design of a guy going the same speed as you right there, it's really easy to get into these bad, lazy habits. So it's important to keep reminding yourself, are we going fast enough? Are we going fast enough? Are we going fast enough? Especially, if you were on the far 40 this weekend and you were really far ahead, it can be really easy to fall into a trap of, yeah, we're going fast enough, when in reality, you're not. Maybe you make a mistake. It's not quite as apparent as it is in one design racing. So it's something you really need to keep your head out of your boat and paying attention to. The last thing that I want to talk about is starting. It was pretty apparent that we were not strong starters on the weekend, and it kind of comes down to comfort and what you're comfortable with. Starting a race boat is kind of like driving on the highway. There's a lot of other people around you. You're not really sure what they're going to do, and the first couple times you do it, and even there are people today that aren't comfortable driving on the highway. You need to be aware of what is going on. And you also need to be aware of where you're starting. So if we have a look here, I like to divide up the starting zone into several zones. So zone A, these are all based on the ley lines to both the boat and the pin. So zone A, I can start on either starboard here and lay the pin, or I can start on port and lay the boat. I've got the most options available to me. Boat B, I can only make the ley line to the pin. I cannot start on port tack. I'm outside of that zone. Here. Zone C, we call coffin corner. My only option is port tack. And, obviously it leaves me at a bit of a disadvantage to try and do that. So, what you need to do is be aware of what your priorities are. My priorities are to never start in zone D or E. I'm probably way too far off the line. I can only make one of the zones and I'm a ways away. If you're consistently starting here, you need to really think about what your time and distance are. Zone B is a really funny zone that I hate starting in. There's a lot of danger here. The reason being is that anybody coming up from down here can hold you out as the lured boat. You can't just barge in there, force your way in, and try and get the start that you want. If you want to start at the boat, typically I like to divide up my starting line into 3 other zones where I have middle, boat end, pin end. If I just want to start near the boat, I'm probably going to be in this range. Just trying to set up over here outside makes it really, really difficult for myself. My goals when I'm trying to start are I want to be at the line, at go, with speed, going the direction that I want. If I'm here, as the old saying, only 1 or 2 boats are going to win out at any end. Only 1 or 2 boats are going to be able to meet that goal. If you're constantly starting late at the boat here, 15 to 20 seconds late, you're giving up 3 to 4 easy boat lengths on people, and you have less lane options now. If I'm starting here and I have to tack right away, the guy who started slightly down the line a little bit had a better start. Chances are he's already tacked if we want to go right. Which means now, if I tack, I'm in a dirty lane, or if I sail straight, I'm in a dirty lane. Not a great option. I think a lot of people feel more comfortable starting there because you're in a little bit more control of where you're going. You have a clear idea of where you're going, and you have a clearer picture of where the start line is with a fewer boats around you. Zone A, you're a little bit more lost if you don't know where your reference points are. It's a really good idea to figure out where the line is. That just takes practice, doing it over and over and over and over again. So being able to start here really opens up all your options for you and lets you get off the line. So working towards this is something that we work towards, and it takes planning. Again, your priorities are going to change as time goes by. So for instance, my priorities at 1 minute are different from my priorities at 40 seconds, 25 seconds, and 10 seconds. So I might be off in zone C here at 1 minute, but it's because I'm progressing back towards the line. I'm going to tack around somewhere in here at about 35-40 seconds and get a good pin end start. I might be over here at a minute, but again, I'm progressing down the line, getting into my A zone so that I can get off the line well. Figuring this out is going to make racing so much easier for you. When we work so hard to go upwind, battle, dig, it's so frustrating trying to sail in a dirty lane, not having any clear lanes, having to get bounced around. Trust me, when you're out front, sailing is about 90 times easier just to get to the windward mark. After that, anybody can drop the kite in the water, have a bad hoist, bad tack, bad jibe, etc. But at least start off on the right foot. Anyways, those are my comments from the weekend. Let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching. See you next week.